This is the wall walk down hinge. What we're going to need here is a ball or something slightly compressible like a pillow folded in half. But whatever we're using, it needs to, when it's in between our thighs right here, allow us to keep our knees in line with our toes and also in line with our hips, with our feet perfectly straight ahead. If it's too big and pushing our knees out or too small, collapsing our knees in, we don't want that. So right about here is what we want. And then we want to start with our hands at shoulder height, and we want to walk slightly back to where we can feel our whole foot flat. And we're on a slight incline right here. But depending on how long or short your arms are, you may need to play around with how far away you are from the wall. And now you're going to bend your knees about 20%. And what I want you to focus on are the foot cues here. So you want to feel on both sides equally the inner heel right here and the first metatarsal head, so the ball of your foot underneath the big toe. That doesn't mean you're losing your outside foot and rolling inside. It just means that that's where the majority of the weight in your foot is, specifically within that heel there. So I'm going to start in this position. I need to keep a neutral spine the entire time. So notice how I'm hinging back. It's almost like I'm doing a deadlift as I very slowly walk my hands down that wall, keeping my arms pretty straight. You're going to get to a position where you're in the end range of your active hip flexion, meaning that if I were to go any lower, my back would start to round and it would move independently of my pelvis. So I need to make sure that everything is moving together and I'm stopping at that point. And my center of mass is going back onto my heels. So right about here for me is where I'm done, keeping those knees slightly bent. I should feel a slight stretch in my upper hamstrings, maybe a little bit in my glutes. I'm going to maintain this position and very slowly squeeze the ball, just about a 3 to 4 out of 10. Breathing in through my nose, out through my mouth, maintaining that spine position for about 5 to 8 breaths. You also may need to adjust and give yourself a very slight posterior or anterior tilt depending on what you need and what's going to make your back feel okay. Just make sure it's not so excessive that it's dipping down or rounding under. The best piece of advice I could give you in this exercise is just take your iPhone camera or whatever phone you got, set it up and watch yourself, almost as if you're looking at yourself in a mirror. And that way you can tell if your back is straight, because by far the common mistake is that people are going to get to that end range position and they don't know, they don't have the awareness of when they're going to start to overextend or they're going to just round their back too much. So it's really important that you have that straight spine. If you're feeling compression or tightness in your back, you don't want that whatsoever. So I would encourage you to stop once you start to feel that happen. Stop just before that point so you can stay very comfortable. 2 more common mistakes to look out for here is that when people are in that bottom position, their head is going to drop like this. Make sure it stays nice and neutral. So a general idea is if it's easy for you to talk in that position, your head is probably in a decent position. The other thing is don't shrug your shoulders. If you're shrugging, that's going to kick on your neck when you breathe, and we do not want that. Now, a wall is best, I find, but if you can't get overhead without neck or shoulder pain, or you can't do it without shrugging, then you can find a desk or something about waist height, put your hands on it, but you need to have a good patterned hinge here. It's going to be harder to hinge properly in this position, but this will take stress off of your shoulders. So slightly bend the knees and then slowly walk back just like this. And then you're going to end in that position where you're going to feel that stretch in your upper hamstrings, maybe some in your glutes. Now, keeping this position right here, give the slight squeeze. And it's important here that, again, film yourself in a camera. See that you have that straight spine, because you do not want to just end up doing this or this.